Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Kids. Today, I'm interviewing Livia Kleiner, and we're going to be asking you some questions about just cubing in general. So let's go ahead and get to the first question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so we've seen a lot of kind of innovations in cubing recently, just with cubing, how the WCA is moving, stuff like that. But how do you think the economy and almost the industry of cubing is going to be like in 5 years?
Ooh, I mean, it's gotten noticeably more popular over the past 3 years, I guess.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I think it's just gonna be more of like a thing that it's just gonna be more popular, I think, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's gonna end up being bigger competitions because of that. Like
Yeah,
the limit for Worlds, they just announced it was like 1,200 competitors, but
exactly.
I bet you like even in the future, I feel like that's just going to increase. It's going to be a lot more popular, and I feel like it's just going to be a lot more like mainstream, I guess.
Yeah.
But maybe people won't stay with it for as long. Like people will compete for a little bit and then
Yeah.
not then quit sooner. I don't know.
Yeah,
So we'll
I
see.
agree. I kind of want to become like soccer though. I feel like almost every person I know played soccer when they were 8 and then doesn't play soccer anymore. So
Well,
we'll
exactly.
see.
So I feel like it's going to be like that a
Yeah,
little bit, but we'll see.
yeah, we'll see, we'll see. And then next off, so going into some hot topics here. I forgot exactly how to say his name, but like that Prodigy 8-year-old keeper Yi Wing or something.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
He got the world record miss scramble. What do you think about that?
You know what I was thinking about when I saw that? I was just
Hmm.
thinking about how Felix Zemdegs had the OH world record for like 5 years. That was
Hmm.
a literal miss scramble.
Really?
It was a miss scramble.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's the
That's crazy.
682, I think it was at the time. It only got broken recently, fairly recently, and it was a miss scramble, which is interesting. I mean, it's just weird. Like people are very like particular about that.
Hmm.
These days. There's been a lot of miss scrambles lately, which is also interesting considering you have a picture in front of you to check
Yeah,
from.
like,
So
oh,
the
does this look
little
right?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best scrambler. I do miss scramble a lot, but I
Yeah.
check it and then I redo it until it's correct. Like it's not so that's one thing that's weird. But they're so inconsistent about like how they deal with miss scrambles. Like I think they need to they need to just do something about that because lately it
Mhm.
happened to Timon too.
Oh,
With the
yeah.
world record average where he got a miss scramble, but he
That's
redid it
crazy.
and did get um yeah, he did get still got the world record. But it's just
Mhm.
weird. Like, I don't know. They seem to pick and choose like who they want to actually like what they
Yeah.
want to let slide versus what they actually want to make people redo for. So,
Yeah. I was like, I didn't know about the Felix thing, but I was kind of curious like where the line is drawn. Like obviously like you might think, oh well, a world record, that's where the line is drawn. No, clearly not,
no,
because
it's
that's what happened. But then when
yeah.
someone who averaged like 80 seconds, like over a minute, gets a miscarriage, would be the same exact thing. You know what I mean? That's not a
Well,
world record there. And then it's like
yeah.
there's not a line. It's like it's interesting. But yeah,
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe they just
yeah,
didn't care. Maybe they just care more now. I
maybe.
don't know. But
I don't
seems
know.
interesting. I feel so bad for him. I
Yeah.
mean,
He's like 8 though, which is like
I
blows my
know.
mind. Too
I
bad he
know.
gets started.
And the way I think about it is obviously like if he's having to do a redo afterwards, he's going to be like way more nervous, so much pressure on him, and
Exactly.
also just being upset from getting the world record and then taking it away. But the way I see it is if he had the right scramble during that his average, the time probably wouldn't have been that much different. Like
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like it's just
Hmm.
I just feel horrible for him. Like it's just unfair to him in my opinion.
I wanna just look at something. I haven't looked at it yet and just see if the scramble is that good. You know what I mean? Like if it
Yeah.
was like
No, I'm sure it wasn't.
a last layer skip, you know what I mean?
That's true, but it
Like
wasn't
that
like it
could it
wasn't the
wasn't a
best.
last layer skip. I know that because that'd be around.
It wasn't.
That'd be
I
okay.
don't think it was the best solve in the average, was it? I don't.
I'm not sure. I think it was like I could be getting this wrong, but I think I was like looking over like what other people were getting their comp, and it was like not even close. Most people weren't even getting their best self at that time.
No, I don't think it was his best, and it was really a consistent average, you know.
It really was.
It was, yeah. So I just feel like if he had gotten the right scramble, he definitely would have had a world record. So.
Yeah, it's like kind of disappointing too, because like imagine like okay, you're at a comp, you know, you're on like keepers like the zone, right? And then it's just kind of disappointing because you have like that adrenaline rush, like I got a world record. Like I don't know what that's like, but I imagine it's pretty amazing. And then the WCA just like, hey, hold up, all right, it's this scramble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
My brother is not 8, and my brother won't let me try to teach him how to sell it by 2.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But yeah, thank you for that. Next question. So I asked you about where you think the economy of cubing is going to be, but do you think the like almost hardware of cubing will increase as much in the next 5 years that we've seen in the last 5 years?
I don't know. I always like don't upgrade my main speed cubes that frequently, and like I almost feel like there's not like I don't think you need to, because I don't think like I feel like there's no way like cubes can just keep improving and getting better forever. I almost think that they're not, in a sense, like they're just like people
adding
like
magnets.
Well, obviously like that was a big jump, but I feel like from like one magnetic cube to like the next version of that cube isn't as big of a difference as people think it is. I feel like just the fact that it's slightly different makes people think it's a lot better, but I really think like you could probably use a cube from 2 years ago. Like I could probably show someone a cube from 2 years ago, tell them it's a new cube, and they would be like, oh my god, like this is fantastic, this is so much better.
Exactly.
Actually, that would be a fantastic experiment to like show them like a GTS version 2 or something and tell them it's like the new RS3M 2023 or something.
On like a newer cube, I feel like would recognize it.
I feel like people would think it's better, because I think like there are big improvements, but I think like the little improvements aren't really as much as people think, and that's why I don't upgrade my mains that frequently. But yeah, for big cubes is where I think the most improvement can come from when it comes to like popping. Yeah. Because I will say like the difference between Moyu's last 6x6 and 7x7 versus their current 6x6 and 7x7 is significant. Like I get less pops. So like I feel like that's one, but I still do get pops every once in a while. That's one big thing. We need to eliminate pops. Yeah. Just no pops on any cube.
Exactly. Then it's like the paper thing back together and stuff. I suck at putting big cube back together.
Oh, it's so annoying. And like sometimes the pieces break. Yeah, like a piece broke on my 6x6. It was like right before I competed a couple comps ago. It popped, the piece broke, so I had to order like another 6x6 like right before the comp, and it was just annoying.
Oh, that sucks.
Yes. No pops. Do you hear that, cube companies? Pop 3 in 2023.
Moyu, Chi, YJ, we're talking to you.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
I don't see Gear coming out with an affordable 7x7 anytime soon, so those companies.
Yeah.
But yeah. My next question, pretty basic. Last time I talked to you, you said you like Moyu budget cubes. So what are your thoughts on the RS3M Super? Just in general.
Wait, okay, that was one that just came out. So I've only tried the regular version. I want to try the other versions, like the ball core or whatever. I don't know. I was hearing like very mixed opinions on it, so I'm not sure.
I have it. It's kind of mid.
Mid?
It's like for the ball core. Like I expected it to be better than it is. It's a good cube.
Is it really fast? Like, does the ball core make it really fast?
I would say faster than normal. Faster? I don't have the other one. I want to like buy the other one just to compare.
I just feel like it might be uncontrollable because it's already a very fast cube. I think it's a really good cube. I'm gonna be honest. I still haven't really taken the time to set mine up. Same. But I mean, if you're looking for like a new budget cube, like yeah, it's a great option. Like even out of the box, like you can tell that it's good. Like how much is it? Is it like it's a little 20. More? It's 20. It's a little more than past versions. But obviously, it's still a lot cheaper than, like, a GAN or whatever. Yeah. So, like, yeah, I think for, like, a moderately priced budget cube, like, it's a good option. I mean, I love Moyu budget cubes. I've used so many different Moyu budget cubes. At least, like, 5 different Moyu budget cubes I've made. And, like, for the past, like, I don't even know, 7 years, that's pretty much, like, all I've used. Not 7 years. Maybe the past, like, no. the past 6 or 7 years, I pretty much exclusively used like Moyu budget cubes with the occasional like Moyu flagship in there, but I don't know. I love them for some reason.
That's cool. Maybe that means the cost for like in cubing simplicity is better. Maybe that's we'll find like improvements.
100%. I mean, I agree with that. Like I find like it's just how it is. I don't like GAN cubes. Like I haven't used a GAN cube in probably like 7 years. Honestly, I've only ever mained a GAN cube like once. But I just like I don't like them. Like sorry GAN. Like I know a lot of people do, but like for me personally, I just don't like them. And like I just feel like just because they're the most expensive doesn't mean they're the best, you know? I feel like it's easy to think that, like, oh, this has to be the best because it's a $90 3x3. But there's great budget cubes there. The MGC 4x4, I'm literally using that right now. I use, and the 5x5. I like the MGC big cubes are all so good. Like, if you don't want to spend like a ton of money on big cubes, like that's the way to go. They're just good.
Yeah. I agree. I have the GAN 13 right here, and I bought it, and I was like, oh, this might be really, really good, right? And then I tried it, and I was like, I should have gone to a comp and tried that first crap. It was not worth, I forgot what I paid for it, like $70 or something, probably.
Oh my god.
Like,
I know.
It's kind of crazy.
Money, the amount it costs and the how good it is do not always correlate. So, yeah, try stuff first. That's an important lesson. Especially if it's going to be expensive.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so for the next question, do you see the rate? So I don't know if you know this where you live and stuff, but around my area in Florida, when I go to a competition, they almost like will set up like the newbies, like the first time competitors and like the people who have gone to competition before, and they're like almost not half, but like I would say a third of the competition is new people. Do you think that rate will continue to rise, or do you think it'll kind of slow down?
I think it'll slow down. I wouldn't be surprised if this year, especially, because what happened was a lot of people during COVID, during 2020, people like during quarantine period and stuff, I think a lot of more people got into it because they were just looking for something fun they could do from home. And then because I know when comps started again in 2021, it was like there were so many people trying to get into them. It had never been, they were filling up instantly, and it had never been like that before. And there were a lot more new people because they were waiting to compete. But like I said earlier, I do think that will die down because I think a lot of people won't stick with it because you know, they were cubing because they didn't have anything else to do, but now they're gonna, you know, they're starting their sports again, or they're doing this or doing that. So I feel like less people are gonna stick with it. But yeah, I've definitely been noticing that too. More newer competitors. Yeah. I don't know. I should really start like tracking that again. But I feel like it's not going to keep increasing that much because only a certain number of people are actually going to like... I feel like not as many people are picking up cubing now as they were like a couple years ago. But I mean, I don't know. You never know, I guess.
Yeah. Well, those are good points. Yeah, I definitely agree. I just think that like when I go to a competition and like I see like all the new people, I'm like, okay, it's like cool. But some of them are like pretty good, and then some of them are just pretty average, and it just kind of comes to the point where it's like there's a lot of new people coming in, but like then you look at the Netflix documentary that happened, like that was really good for cubing.
Yeah, and that could have affected it too. You're right, because that came out. That came out in 2020, so that probably increased the number of people getting into cubing even more. A lot of people watched that, I will say. I mean, I had people left and right who weren't cubers saying like, dude, I saw you on Netflix. Like, they just watched it because they, you know, thought it sounded like interesting. So yeah. That's a good point. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, I think this kind of leads to the next question, but I think that kind of how cubing is almost like getting to those mainstream medias. I think that I talked about this with Cubing and Coded. I still think that like cubers, we could do more with the media presence that we've mostly been given. Like the Red Bull Roots Cube World Cup, like that we could have done so much more with that. And then like the what is it? Yeah, the documentary. Like I think we did a good job with that. Cube had did like a reaction to it and stuff. There's so much more that cubing has in store. Like anytime I go on my cube and I'm like at a restaurant, just like standing out again, someone's like, "Oh my gosh, you are amazing! Like, what's your name? You're gonna be like literally like so successful one day because you can do a roof cube like you don't know. Thousands of other people can do it too."
Yeah.
And it's just like it's very interesting for people.
It is. Because it's weird because it's like I don't really consider it a sport necessarily, but like it's sort of the only like sport where everyone has like done it, but like only a few people are good at it. You know, everyone's like tried a Rubik's Cube, so they know what it's like, but then when they see someone actually do it, they're like, wait, like it's possible? Versus like if I see someone who's good at like chess, like I've never like I'm like, oh, okay, but I don't know chess. Like I don't know like do you know what I mean? Like or I don't know like I don't really care about like sports like you know, like soccer or whatever. Like, oh, I did play soccer, actually. That's a bad example. I didn't play, like, lacrosse. Like, if I see people playing lacrosse, I'm like, oh, okay. But, like, I don't know if they're good or not because I've never played lacrosse. But, so I feel like everyone just is extra impressed with cubing because everyone's tried it at some point.
Yeah.
But,
very versatile.
Yeah, they definitely could do more with, like, mainstream stuff. Especially, I feel like the documentary was, like, the biggest step for sure. I feel, there was, like, no... The thing with the Red Bull was like in 2020 and 2021 it was like virtual, so
yeah, we were all like cubing. We were like on a hold. Wait, we're growing now. What?
Yeah, it was like unfortunate because like 2019 was the first year, so they were sort of like just testing the waters, and then 2020 21 was online. So I feel like if that hadn't happened, it might have been different. Like things might have been different. They might have done more promotion and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I didn't see. Like, I only saw, like, one thing about it, really, in 2019, and it was like, oh, you have to be 18 to qualify or whatever, and I'm like, oh, guess I can't do it, and that was really it. Like, I never saw anything about it again. But in a sense, I think, I kind of like that there's not that much, like, publicity for it, because I feel like it's more enjoyable when it's, like, a smaller thing that's less, public, and it's less, like, you know, it's more, like, friendly versus being, like, very competitive, but I don't know. We should do. I think we should do another documentary. I mean, maybe I'm biased because I got my literal 15 seconds of fame in it, but like I just loved it. Like it was great. I mean, it was so freaking good. Like good. Like if you have not seen it, watch it. Like I promise, it is not what you expect. Like you don't have to be a cuber to enjoy it. It was. You will never expect a documentary about plastic toys to be that emotional. That's all I'll say. Like seriously.
That's a great description.
I think there's more good stories they could tell about cubing, so I don't know. I'd be open to it, you know, as long as I got to be in it.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good idea talking about that, like a Speak Yours Part 2 almost. I don't know if Netflix would go for it because like I like see it and it like there's like a million other things competing with on Netflix, right? So it's kind of a little bit above average, which is good. But you know, Netflix are looking for some big hit.
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of see. I think there are like so many different storylines they could follow. Personally, I rewatch that like over and over and over because I just think it's cool. We watched my family, watched it with my extended family. And is it wrong for me to not have a cube in my hands while I watch it? I also like feel like that. It's like random, but additional add-on. So that'd be cool. The storyline they follow with Max, Park, and Phoenix and Dex though, there's like so many other just like following a competition in general would be like really good. Like another Worlds or another like a Nats or whatever.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they cover like Max and Felix, that's a very like long time talked about thing in the community. So I think that was good. There's definitely other things that they could talk about because we're interesting in the community.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely.
Alright, so on to the next question. Do you think that the WCA will find much success with their you know, kind of making WSOT, trying to make it a sport basically? I think I asked something similar last time.
What's the W? Wait, what was that? The W?
It's something. It basically is just the organization the WCA made. So, and they're working to make cubing a sport, like, separately.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the world something, I don't know. It's just like, cubing a sport, basically.
Like, separate from the WCA, or, like, with the WCA?
It's a committee within the WCA that is specifically for making cubing a sport, I think. And that's, I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like on one hand, I'm like, oh, I want it to stay how it is. Like it's, it's not like there's huge amounts of money involved, which is good in the sense that people aren't like super competitive and like hating each other because they're like, competing against others. And also just that it's small and chill, and it's not like you have a million like cameras in your face or whatever from like news stations or whatever.
Sir, tell us about today's results.
Yeah. So I don't know. On one hand, like I like it how it is. Like it's sort of more chill, I feel like, because it's not like broadcasted like a big major sport. But on the other hand, I don't really care that much about the competitive aspect because I'm a content creator. Like that's what I did. That's what I want to do, and that's what my main focus is. So in one hand, I feel like it could be almost good for me if it did become more of a sport in the sense. I don't know. Because it would be like, if it became more well known, that's good for me because I get more viewers, I'm not trying to sound like selfish or whatever. It's just good for me, and it would give me potentially more things to make content about, I don't know. It would just be different. And like, again, don't really care that much about competing. Like I enjoy competing, but I'm not dedicating my like entire life. Yeah. I'm not dedicating my entire life to competing. So I don't know. Whichever way it happens, I'm cool with it because as long as I have my YouTube, I'm happy. As long as I have stuff to make videos about, I'm happy.
You got a cool podium. Like I think someone in the commentary last video praised the podium sweep. You got like really good results in your last comp.
That was a wild comp. That was like a really weird format. It was so much fun though. And they basically said they're like, if you're a new competitor, do not sign up for this comp. Like it'll be too. Because it has like every event and like it was just like a confusing format. So I think there was only like 2 new competitors at that entire comp or something. Ironically, we were just talking about how there's always new competitors, but they told them not to sign up for this comp for good reason. That was a fun one. I'm leaving today to go to another comp in New York. It's a 2-day comp with almost every event. So I love comps where there's like every event. Like that's so. Not because I love sweeping everything, No, I'm kidding. But it's just worth it to me to get to go to a comp with every event.
Yeah, you just like casually like in that video I just casually heard the voice. They're like, I managed to get 3rd place in that one. And the podium was like, what?
Oh yeah, that's that video.
Yeah, that's what's the word? I'm forgetting the word. That's cool though.
Thank you. Yeah, that was so much fun.
The next question is more of a basic question, but where do you see yourself as a YouTube channel and then keeping YouTube as a whole in the next year, 5 years, and 10 years?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like cubing YouTube, I don't watch that much, so I feel like I really can't comment that much on it. All I know is I see a lot of stuff that is just very like generic, I guess would be the word. Like there's some people making really good content, but then there's some people just sort of like it's just very like surface level, I guess.
Like just that the whole time. Just
yes. You know what? I'll expose people. Yes. Like there's you know what I mean? Like, and I mean I make videos that are like not super serious, but I at least try to have them be like funny or entertaining versus just a video of you like turning a cute, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like I try to at least have a little substance in all of my videos. But that being said, there are a lot of people making like good cubing content, but I also feel like TikTok has like affected it because everyone just wants to make like short quick videos that are just going to get a lot of attention but aren't necessarily really like giving you any useful like information, you know what I mean? But there are a lot of good channels out there, and for me, like I don't know, like I just want to keep doing YouTube definitely for the next like 4 or 5 years for sure. I'm just saying that because I feel like at some point I probably will like just quit the internet and just go off the grid. I don't know, probably not. I would like to do that at some point, just like get off the internet and free myself from it. But oh shoot, time's coming up. Okay. But yeah, for the next couple years, I'm definitely staying on, and I want to just, keep working. Like I just started working with Rubik's, and it's been fantastic.
That's cool.
Having a lot of fun putting together videos for them. So that was like I love doing that, like, because I've always wanted to making videos be like my job, because I've always just loved that. So like getting to work with Rubik's now is just so awesome. Like it's so yeah, gonna keep going, grinding out those videos.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely make good content, but it's definitely different, which also kind of leads me to the next question. Great segue. My teachers like to say that. Great segue. Anyway, though, so basically, for this interview, I was just kind of catching up. I do watch your videos, but I was just kind of going through, like, oh, what's something I could kind of comment about? And I realized you have almost an odd obsession with scrambling things.
Oh.
Like, you scramble all your cubes, you made a short where you just scrambling. What do you think about like math solving sessions? Do you think those are specifically difficult for you? Because I cannot sit there and solve for a long time.
Yeah, well, the solving my entire collection, I mean, it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. And I don't particularly enjoy, like, it's sort of nice in the sense of you just like, listen to music or whatever, do some solving vibe. Like, it's sort of relaxing, but I would definitely prefer just sit and do like a big average on one cube than solve a bunch of different cubes. That was a lot, but the video was the best video I've ever made. Like, it turned out so well. Like, I don't know if I'll ever do it again. Maybe when I get like 500 cubes. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about it just for the views, but it was a lot. I've done a 2x2 through 13x13 relay before. I would never even think about. I can't believe I did that. Like, I was insane. I was literally, but I was also stuck in quarantine and I was losing my mind. So I guess I just did it. I could not imagine doing that again. I love scrambling stuff though. It's so much fun. It's so much more fun than solving. But I will admit, Scramble 13x13. I love milking as many videos as I can get out of the fact that it's scrambled. I literally just posted one yesterday. But I don't know. People seem to like me joking about how I never solve it. And then one day I'm just going to solve it and shock everyone. So that'll be my next thing. I got to do it my 13x13 solve. And my 12x12 and my 11x11. So I'll have to make an interesting video out of that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I just saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks, I forgot about that for a second. That looks terrible.
Yeah. That was a crazy one. But it's literally my favorite video I ever made. It was so good. It turned out so well. 13 and a half hours of solving, but it was worth it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
13 and a half hours. I could not do that. After like 2.5 hours, I can't sit down for another cubing session. I just keep the cube in my hands the rest of the day, I guess.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. Anyway, on to the next question. So talking about kind of big cubes and stuff. 3x3, do you think that we'll get to a point where we could get better, but people will kind of prefer to start moving on to different events as the main kind of thing of the WCA?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think at least people move into like OH or like 4x4, but I feel like even in recent years, people have started thinking about like which events there's not as many people who are good in. For instance, clock, because like 4 years ago there was not that many good people at clock, and now there's a huge amount of really good people. So I think people figure out like, ooh, like not that many people are good at clock, let me go do some clock. So I feel like people have already thought that way. But yeah, I do think people will start, because some people like only really do like 3x3 OH, and then like some people really only do like n/n cubes. So I could definitely see people like expanding into other like side events and stuff just because they're, want to do more with it.
Yeah, I can just off the top of my head name a couple people like Jude Stratner and I forget how to say his last name, Eddie, whatever, Cuba Time, who are my age. I've met Eddie and just really good at clock, and just that's a good example. But I agree. I think that there will be kind of more of that, and people have kind of realized I might not be well class at 3x3. I feel like everyone still has that hope, at least some people, at least around my age group, like when I'll talk to people, they'll be like, maybe one day. I'm totally guilty of that.
Yeah, people also realize the events that are easiest to get fast at, like clock, pyraminx, versus 3x3, I think is a lot harder to get fast at. So I think that's definitely something people have caught on to as well.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Anyway, on to the next question. Yeah, I think those are really good points. But I don't know if you saw recently, out of the competition where Tom and Cherry got, I think it was like an NR, and then later he got like another NR. I'm not sure if he has the world record, but something crazy. And that's for a method that he kind of made, I think, called 7 simul. I'm not sure if you used it there. What are your thoughts on like all like the growing efficiency on with things like 7 simul? And I don't know if you memorized it, but Dirk Beekeeper now has like a full PDF of like TPLL for square one, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, square one, obviously we can see based on the times how much like that has like, because they basically 3-look it. They do cube shape, they do OBL, and then PBL. Like that makes it so much more efficient. And same thing with clock. You're basically doing clock in like 7 moves. Like what is it?
7 simul.
Yeah, and you're 1-looking it in 7 moves. So it's basically down to luck and like how fast you can turn it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sort of the same thing with square one. So I don't know. I mean, times will still improving because people are still gonna get luckier scrambles, you know. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how big of an improvement like that has made. Mm-hmm. But it makes sense. Like I always wondered, like even like years ago, 5 years ago or more, I was wondering like, dang, why isn't there like a better clock method? Like I thought, not like I was smart enough to like invent that, but I always thought like there's only one method for clock. Like what if you just invent a better method? Like that would be so smart. And now people have done it, and it obviously has worked out very well for them. So congrats.
Congrats. Tommy Cherry comes with like his no flip, and then Tommy Cherry comes with like the 7 simul with Caleb, I forget how to say his last name, Trellford, I think.
Yeah.
And some other people, I think. It just kind of blows me out, like, out of the water, anything I think I could ever do. Or anything like that. But it's crazy. I think there's some real talent coming to cubing, especially when you see the younger talent, like Yi Heng Wei, I'm going to butcher that. Yeah. But, like, stuff like that, I think there's a lot of stuff coming to cubing. But yeah, we're kind of running out of Zoom time, so I'm going to make this last one quick.
Okay.
Of all the amazing cubing world records that you've seen, which two do you think broke the biggest boundary, and which one do you think was the most impressive, or are they the same solve?
Do you mean ones I've like witnessed in person, or just
like you've like just kind of cubed through, almost like you've been a cuber since?
Oh, well, I would say, I mean, for me, so when I was first started cubing, the world record was 5:55 from Matt's Volk, and it was that way for a while. So I think that one day when Keaton, Keaton. Well, 2. So first, the one where Colin Burns broke it. I was supposed to be at that comp, but I decided to miss it to take softball pictures instead, which I will forever regret. Anyway, I missed that, but that was huge because that was like the first time the world record had been broken since I started cubing, and that was that was a wild moment. If you've seen the video, you know how wild it was there. So definitely that, and then also that day when Keaton broke the world record, and then Lucas Etter broke it like a couple hours later, got the first sub-5. That was huge because I mean the first sub-5 solve. I remember I was at a different comp that day, and we were watching the results from the River Hill comp, like watching this all unfold, and it was just wild. Like I remember where I was. I was in New York. I remember watching that unfold, and it was wild. Now we're ready.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And y'all, remember to subscribe. Remember to subscribe to her channel. I will link it in the description and the comments. I realized last time that it's like authorized a description link, so y'all will look for whatever. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, leave a like and comment and subscribe. Peace.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.